Good afternoon, everyone. So, students, you can hear me properly? Okay, very good. So, good afternoon once again, and wishing you all Shubho Vijaya. Hope all of you are well and enjoyed your puja vacation. Now, come back to your classes, and today first I will tell you the syllabus of your exam, which will help very soon. Hope you have heard in previous classes, right? So, for your biology syllabus, chapters are chapter number 6, that is life processes, and another chapter, that is the next chapter according to your revised syllabus, that is how do organisms reproduce. Okay, questions will be asked from these two chapters. What are the name of those chapters? I am repeating that: chapter 6 life processes and chapter 8 how do organisms reproduce. Okay, so I think in your previous exam only one chapter was there, that is life processes, and in this particular exam one chapter is added, that is how do organisms reproduce. Okay, so everyone start reading those two chapters. When your exam date will be declared, after that I will start the revision of those two chapters once again. Okay, so for today I will start another new chapter, and the name of this particular chapter is, that is management of natural resources. I think all of you have seen your revised syllabus, and there you can find that one chapter which is, okay, let me find it out, that is chapter number 16, and the name of this chapter is management of natural resources. And I hope all of you have checked this one, that this chapter is not in your board syllabus, but an internal assessment will be there related to this chapter. That means questions will be asked from this chapter. So after this examination I will take an internal assessment on this particular chapter. So today I will start this chapter, and one chapter that is in your final syllabus, that is our environment, I will discuss after this chapter. Clear everyone? So let me start this chapter. The name of this chapter is management of natural resources, which is chapter number 16. So first we have to know the meaning of the heading of this chapter, that is management of natural resources. Here we have got a term natural resources. So what is the meaning of the natural resources? Natural resources means substances which we can get from the nature and is useful to mankind. Okay, so whatever we are using, that means something we are getting from the nature, something which we can create, which we only it is available in our nature or environment, and without those substances we will not be able to survive. Okay, those substances are called as natural substances. So I am writing what is the meaning of natural substances. Substances that we can get from nature and is useful to mankind. Okay, so those are called as natural resources. Now another term is there, that is management of those natural resources. So what are they, what they want to say by the using term management? As you know that these natural resources can be found in limited amount. Okay, so we have to use those natural substances very carefully. So we have to use it like that, so that huge amount of wastage will not be there. What will happen if we waste the natural resources? Our future generation will not get sufficient amount of natural resources, which will be very hard for them to survive in the environment. So it is our duty that we should use those natural resources very tactfully in a well organized way, so that wastage will not be there. So we have to avoid the wastage of the natural resources. Okay, like if you want an example, then you can imagine that if any occasion is there, then there will be some extra foods, right? So we should distribute those foods to the poor, those who are not getting the food every day, so that these type of discrimination will not be there. As I am giving a example, taking the food, there will be so many examples like water. We can see whenever we are going anywhere, roadside tap calls are over there. Sometimes these tap calls been kept open. Okay, so what will happen? The wastage of water will be there. So you can find that some people are wasting the water too much, and in some areas people are not getting a little amount of water. So we have to focus on that, so that we will be able to avoid the wastage of natural resources. Okay, so we have to plan for everything, for using the natural resources, and so that in future it will not create any problem. And this condition is called as management. We have to manage our resources, we have to use it in appropriate way. Okay, so these things will be discussed in this particular chapter. Now if I ask you, what are the different natural resources? I have told you that meaning of natural resources and what is the meaning of management of natural resources. Now if I ask you, what are the different natural resources we are getting? Very easy. Can you say me some examples of natural resources without which we can't be able to survive? Very good. Yes. First one is air. Without air we will not be able to breathe. Next, water. Without water we will not be able to survive. Next, Ishanur has written wildlife. Very good. Without wildlife. And next, trees. Okay, we can write it. Plants. Subrajyoti. Okay. Next, water, air. Yes. Anything else? Soil. Anything else? Try. There are different natural resources which are very important for us. Yes, coal. Ishanur has also written another one. Coal. With the coal we can write petroleum, forest, sunlight, air, oxygen. Yes. Oxygen is in that air part. Okay, so just check that sunlight. You can say sunlight. So we can create all those. Yes, petroleum, I have written that we can create all those. So we have to be dependent on the nature for these particular resources, without which we will not be able to survive. Okay, so I will discuss how coal and petroleum has been prepared in the nature, like that. Okay, so one thing now we have to know, why do we need to manage those natural resources? What is the need? So next, a question is there, what is the need of managing those natural resources? Why? The answer is limited resources. As we can see that the sources are not in that amount that we can use it like anyhow and there will be keep growing on. It is not like that. All the natural sources are limited. That's why we have to manage it properly, else it will get finished. Okay. Next, protection of the environment. Protection of the environment. Okay, so you can see that if you cut down all the trees in a forest, what will happen? The animals which are living in this particular area will not be able to survive. The ecological balance will be destroyed. The total system will get damaged. And another issue will be there, global warming. Yes, Subrajyoti, there will be very many ill effects for that. So everything will get damaged, and ultimately what will happen? The environment will be destroyed. So if we don't manage the natural resources, these problems may create. So for protecting our environment, we should we have to use or manage natural resources. And the next important one point is equal distribution. As I have given you an example of that particular food and water, just imagine what I have said, that some people are getting huge amount of food, huge amount of water, and some people are not getting a little bit of water. Okay, so that is not right. So we have to manage it like that, that all the people can get the natural resources equally. Okay, so the distribution should be equal so that everyone can get and use the natural resources according to their need. Okay, so these are the some reasons for those we should manage the natural resources. Now from the book I will read a paragraph. There we will get to know for managing our Ganga river, and some action plans have been taken for managing different purposes. First I will discuss about, for Ganga river has been polluted that time very much. That's why action plan has been taken, that has been named as Ganga Action Plan. To protect the Ganga river from the pollution. Okay, and it has been taken in the year of 1985. And how will you come to know that the river is polluted or not? Bacteria which is present in our intestine, and these particular bacteria, if present in the water, this will indicate that the water is polluted, and this particular type of bacteria is considered as coliform bacteria. Okay, coliform bacteria. Why it is called coliform? Because as you know, the Escherichia coli or E. coli is having in its genus name. So some other group of bacteria which are having the which comes under the same genus coli, this bacteria can be considered as coliform bacteria. Okay, now I will read the paragraph from the book and explain it to you. So first, awareness about the problems caused by unthinkingly exploiting our resources has been a fairly recent phenomenon in our society. And once the awareness rises, some action plan is usually taken. So first awareness was not there, so people were not aware that why they should manage the natural resources. But when the awareness became when the awareness rises, some action plans has been taken, and among them first one is that Ganga Action Plan. It is a multi-crore project. Okay, so you can understand that how huge it is, and it has been done in the year 1985. Why? Because the water of the Ganga was very poor, and the coliform bacteria, the number of coliform bacteria is very huge. Okay, that's why, and this is a disease causing bacteria. Why is only coliform bacteria? Because considered for pollution of rivers? Because in the particular Ganga river, that what are mixing in that particular, so that we are excreting many wastes of our home, town, cities, garbages, everything is mixing untreatedly. Okay, that's why this type of bacteria can grow in this particular environment very easily, and that is why this type of bacteria can be found in that particular Ganga river, and by the help of this counting we can understand that the river is polluted or not. Clear, Subhajyoti? So now look, in the book you can find a graph. Okay, you can see the graph that in the left side there is a total coliform bacteria per 100 ml, and in that on the x-axis there are different regions like Rishikesh, Haridwar, like that. You can find the peak of the particular coliform bacteria, and with the help of that they can find the total coliform count levels in Ganga action, and this graph is only for in the year 1993 to 1994. If we make this graph now, then we can get different result. Okay, now what I was saying, that why we need to protect the Ganga river, because it is the main river and it cover near about 2500 km from Gangotri in the Himalayas to Ganga Sagar in the Bay of Bengal, and it is being turned into a drain by more than 100 towns, cities in Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and West Bengal. Okay, so as we are living in West Bengal, we should know this part. Now what they are doing, they are pouring their garbages, excreta into it, what I was explaining to you, and mainly the untreated sewage is dumped into the Ganges day by day. Nowadays the sewage is treated, and after that it is mixing to the river, so that it cannot create any harm. You will read the sewage treatment in higher classes. Okay, so previously what was happening, that largely untreated sewage dumped in the Gangas every day, and with that, like that we are having in all of our houses, we are having drainage system which are mixing in a hydrant, which are mixing, these hydrants are mixing in summer, like that all the towns, cities, the garbages of all those were mixing in this Ganga river. And beside that, washing of the domestic animals, washing of the clothes, immersion of the ashes and unburned corpses, like that everything was mixing in that particular Ganga river and making it very much polluted. Okay, and again another thing, the industries, from the different industries, different chemicals effluents were mixing in that particular Ganga, and which increase the pollution level of that particular Ganga level, and toxicity has been increased too much, and the fishes and aquatic organisms living in the Ganga river has been died. Okay, so this toxicity was killing the fishes and other living organisms. So that was the main reason we should for that this Ganga action plan has been considered, and you can check that with the help of that pH paper, according to the pH, you can find that different types of water is having different type of pH. Okay, and you have read in that part in the chemistry that which one will show you red coloration or which one will show you blue coloration. So you can do it by at your home with the help of that litmus paper or universal pH indicator. You can take a glass of tap water, river water or stream water, or the taps which are on the roadside tap water, like that you can take different types of water and you can check the pH, so that you will be able to understand what are the conditions of different waters. Okay, so for today up to this portion, in my next class I will proceed to this chapter. Okay, so up to this portion, any queries, any doubt? Okay, so thank you everyone, and read those chapters carefully. If you are facing any doubt, ask me in my next class. So thank you and bye bye for today.